Well, good morning, and I think I've pretty much answered whether I've had a haircut question. Different. So thank you to my wife, and we'll see how we progress. And hopefully next time I need one. Well, no. I'm sort of thinking I might go to hairdressers. That's all I'm saying. So we'll see. Anyway, so yes, we have had a haircut, and it was nice and fast. I will say that. So we had the teams last week. I still haven't got over that. I'm sorry to moan, but 3 aces we had in all 12 hands. We had 3 aces. I don't know. Anyway, so we are upgrading to better aces. Me and Alfie were actually looking for aces over the weekend, and we feel that we found a few, so I'll have a few up my sleeve. And lots going on the site, of course. We have upgraded the server, so I am hoping that we won't have so many people who maybe come on late, etc. So that was done on Friday. So far, so pretty good. There'll be an element of slowness to load up pages as you start, but we'll be optimizing the speed throughout the week. Bear in mind that I've got no idea what that means, but I am quoting other people. Okay, so bear that in mind. There you go. What else is going on? Well, we've added a novice quiz on the site. Nothing spectacular. It's just a second bidding quiz with novices in mind. So simply looking at simple ideas rather than ideas that might be stronger. Obviously, some of the bidding quizzes themselves don't necessarily have complicated ideas, but the novice quiz particular will be focusing on a general theme going through. I'm also told that a number of you on the site need card updates. And those are gradually being doing. What we're doing is we're transferring people across to our new server, and that takes a certain amount of time. It's not an automated thing, I'm told. Again, I've got no idea what all this means, but there you go. So some of you will be being contacted or being called or being asked to call. So we'll see how that goes. With regard to holidays, we're looking across the board at those, so that's quite exciting. So we'll look at the prize quiz for you, Brian. Sorry about that. So we're going to look at, hopefully we're going to be promoting UK events to you very soon. We're looking to promote Mallorca to you for October. So that will be probably on the holiday site. Let me just show you that, by the way, if you're not used to that. The new top of the home page there, you've got the holidays club on the left. You've got the B&B shop with the yellow. You've got the charity events. We've got 3 of those up there. If anybody else wants to promote a charity event, we'll put any event up there for you. Okay, so there's 3 of them in March. So do look at those. And then the contact us button, of course, and the big black button there, which is to join us as a member, or you can sign up as well. So yes, Mallorca will be promoted hopefully halfway through this week. We'll have all the details of that, and you'll be able to join some of those who are already on it, having transferred from a previous event. So that will be exciting. What else is there? Well, the spring and summer cruises will be launched probably in a week or so's time. The spring and summer cruises for 2022 on Fred Olsen. So we'll probably have a St. Petersburg, another fjord, and those kind of things. So look out for those as well. Okay, well, what are we talking about today? We're talking about leads on the side with defence for 4 or 5 weeks. It's not the harder form of defence. We're talking about really coming from the basics, but as we all know, let's be honest, defence is by far the most exciting aspect of bridge for me, but the most difficult as well. So we're going to look at leads and looking at basic leads, but as you, the problem is whenever I say something's basic, I know it's not really. So what's happening on Fridays? Fridays we're still doing suit combinations, but the next 3 Fridays I'm looking to discover the power of the 10. The power of the 10. We have been looking at some really ugly holdings on Fridays when you've only got 2 honours. King and Jack was what we did last Friday. quite nasty really, but it's important to know what to do, because when it's your trump suit you sort of need to know how to deal with it. But put a 10 in somewhere and things change. So the power of the 10 is what we're going to talk about, and I will hopefully eventually develop that into a new seminar as well, because I think it's quite an interesting topic. And of course the point about hand evaluation is that the suit combinations is, by looking at them, I'm hoping that we are eventually going to change our hand evaluation. I mean, it's all well and good hearing me saying, oh, honours together or 10s and this and that are good things. Well, actually seeing the suit combinations and seeing why, hopefully, is going to enable us to evaluate this hand. There we go. So let's start with our hand evaluation, which of course is what I always give you to start with. So those of you on Friday would have seen this, and this one is what I'm asking you to think about while I go off on my seminar. Okay, so there we go. That's your hand. You can think about it in any terms. Generally, when I pick up a hand, I'm generally thinking, okay, I add up the points in it. For those of you who are happy, there's 12, and then you decide whether you like it or not. So I think we'd all be opening probably a no trump on this one. But for example, here, I want to know what you would be responding to one no trump, to be honest, and we will talk about that after our seminar. Okay, so let's go to the seminar. I've got to click on there, and we are talking leads, of course. And as I say, so the first and foremost, you've got to know your normal leads. So we'll quickly run through those. I've done those on the seminar on the site. So hopefully we're all happy that we lead 4th highest from an honour and not 4th highest from a bad suit. And that's important. I don't mind what you play. Okay, I don't mind what you play, but it is really important that you distinguish between the two. And as we've discussed so much, you do need to decide, that there is a difference throughout the whole hand. So if I've got an honour, well, when I lead a low one, I'm sort of saying, partner, I'm leading this suit, but I also don't mind you leading it back. When I lead a high one, I'm saying I'm leading this suit because I think it's the right suit to lead. So by high, I mean a high spot card, like the 8 or something like that. I'm pretty sure this is the right suit to lead, but you don't have to lead it back, partner, because I haven't got much in it. Can you see what I mean? Okay. Top of a doubleton. And of course, there's the touching honours as well. So I'm not going to really go into those now, because those are the standards, and I've talked about that on the site in our lead seminar, and we've also covered them. Today, we are looking at 3-card suits. 3-card suits. So what do we lead from 3-card suits? Okay, so of course you're thinking, well, why on earth would I want to lead 3-card suits? Or sometimes it's Hobson's choice. It's the only suit you feel happy leading. It might be a partner suit or something like that. So from a 3-card suit, okay, from a 3-card suit, we tend to lead low from an honour. That's important. So if I've got King 7-2, I'm leading the smallest. From 3 small, you have a choice. You either lead mud, which stands for middle, up, down. So you lead the middle card, then the up, and then the down. Or sometimes you might choose top of nothing. Now, what's the difference between these two? Why have I got both of them there? Well, to be honest, the reason I've got both of them there is because against a no trump contract, you're more likely perhaps to want to lead the highest one to make sure that partner knows that you haven't got much in the suit. Whereas in a suit contract, the reason we choose mud, middle card first, then the higher card, then the lower card, is so that partner does not think we've got a doubleton. Now in a suit contract, doubletons can be powerful. You lead high, low, so let's say your partner happens to have the ace and king, he knows he can give you a rough on the 3rd round. And he would be upset when it turns out you've got 3 of them. By playing middle, then up, he will know that you haven't got 2. Against no trumps, of course, the difference between a doubleton and a tripleton is not so valuable. So the more important thing to do in no trumps would often be to be specific about whether you really want the suit led back. Again, this, as someone said, it's often when you've got an unbid suit is when it comes. Okay. And of course, the other element of 3 points, okay, the other element of 3-card suits is you actually only need 2 touching cards to lead to high, because otherwise you can block a suit. So imagine you've got King, Queen, 2. Clearly you could lead the 2, but if you've chosen to lead the suit against no trumps, you generally lead the king. And the reason you've probably chosen to lead the suit is maybe it's an unbid suit and you're hoping your partner has length. Okay, so you want to play the king and the queen, get them out of the way, and if you're lucky your partner's got the jack, and then he will be able to run the suit. Okay, is someone there asking, is the 10 an honour? When I'm leading from honours, usually I don't count it as an honour, but it is a high card. So top of 2 touching high cards, Jack 10 would count, yes. And when I talk about 3 touching high cards or 3 touching honours, Queen, Jack 10. So the 10 is that strange card. When it's with other high cards, it's got that value. And of course, when we do evaluation and we talk about it on the Fridays coming up, we will see that a 10 with a higher card we're so much more excited about than we are when a 10 by itself. Okay, so let's look at a hand. I've got you in the west seat here. Let's see how we get on here. And south opens the bidding 1 diamond. You're not doing anything. Okay, so it goes a diamond, a spade, 1 no trump, 3 no trumps. A diamond, a spade, 1 no trump, 3 no trumps, and it's your bid. Sorry, not your bid, it's your lead. Okay, it's your lead. So what do you think? Okay, so I hope we've had a few suggestions, and I think they're all coming along with my suggestions. Yeah, so obviously you've got 2 choices here. I mean, you're thinking the unbid suits, really. A diamond doesn't look nice. I hope everybody's happy with that. A spade, yes, in a way you're going to be leading through north spades, but the chances are, I mean, if you had a bit more power in spades, you might be more encouraged, but the chances are by leading away from ace, you're compromising it. So I think everybody's decided to lead a heart, and I like that. And the key here is that the correct lead when you've got Jack 10 small would be to lead the Jack. Okay, and that's what I think most people have chosen, the Jack of hearts there. And I prefer that. Leading doubletons, speculative doubletons here, you know, would be would just be a shot in the dark for me. Remember, if you're even choosing between a minor and a major, you tend to go for the major. Okay, as I say, what's so important here is, because a lot of us would, I mean, don't get me wrong, there will be people who will lead diamonds or spades here, and that's completely reasonable, particularly if you're of a novice or something like that, because that's what we get taught. Why shouldn't we? Okay, all right. But here, in this kind of situation, we remind ourselves that we're playing in a partnership. So if you're just looking at your hand, and this is what's so difficult about defence, if we just look at our own hand, well then of course we would lead the spades of the diamonds. But if we consider our partner, well, clearly with north bidding spades and south bidding diamonds, I think my partner's probably going to have something in hearts or clubs. You know, I might as well choose the most sensible of the 2s. So here, I'm going to lead the Jack. So that's, when you've got 3-card suits, you're in a strange place. So for me, the Jack of hearts is the lead, because I don't want to block the suit by leading small. So imagine it turns out north and south have the ace and king of hearts. You know, if I lead the 3, my partner puts up his queen, that loses. We may well develop the suit, maybe partner's got 4, but I think that Jack 10 is going to be a blockage. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so the Jack of hearts lead. Remember, against no trumps, partner will generally assume you haven't got a doubleton. Okay. All right, so let's choose the Jack of hearts. I'll show you the hand, but it's slightly easier for me to demonstrate this by looking at Q+, so I'm just going to take you there. In fact, I'll open all the hands up there, and let's go to Q+. I'll put you on Q+ there. So it's a lot to take in there, but it's the same hand. You can see the auction there. Nice simple auction. A diamond, a spade, 1 no trump. Partner, I've got 15. 3 no trumps. Partner, I've got 10 at least. He's got 12. And you can see, obviously, spades and diamonds. A diamond would have been a disaster here, okay, because declarer doesn't know you've got 4, and that's crucial here. So declarer will lose a trick to your jack of diamonds, whereas if you lead a diamond, of course, it will run around to declarer's 9, and he will make all 5 diamond tricks. Okay, and in fact here, it's not so nice for declarer. If you find the right lead, declarer could go a couple off. So let's try the jack of hearts and see what happens. I think winning the ace of hearts is sensible from declarer there, because he's still got a half stopper. What do I mean by half stopper? Well, if East is the next person to get on lead, then the hearts are safe. Okay, so declarer is likely to play on diamonds here. Unfortunately, I would have usually played the ace first and then maybe crossed over, but that's another matter. But unfortunately for him, they break badly, and at this point, he's just got to play on a different suit, and he probably gets a sinking feeling. We'll play our count there. Partner's ducked, which is fine. He's playing the 10 of spades. I'm going to put the ace straight up there because I'm quite excited about playing hearts. I would have probably played the 6 if I was East, but we're just going to play the suit out. I'm not too worried about the defence here. I'm just showing what can happen if you find the right lead. And the key here is that we are finding the right lead for the partnership. Okay, so we're going to make that 6 of hearts, obviously, and eventually partner's going to make the ace of clubs. Okay, here, he's decided to let partner give it to the opponent. So North gets the lead and your partner eventually is going to win the ace of clubs there. So it's actually, you know, it goes 1 off there. And that's... Someone's saying there, if you play strong 10 means you either have, the 10 shows a card higher than the jack. It must have a card higher than the jack. So it would be, if you were leading the 10, you'd have King Jack 10 or King 10 9 or something like that. So you wouldn't be leading the 10 from Jack 10x here. Okay, but not to worry that. Please don't worry if you don't come. So, you know, that's the hand. I'll go back to the PowerPoint so you can see it there. Your full hand there. Don't get me wrong, as we all know, I can set any hand. So clearly I can set it. I'm going to make sure that the jack of hearts works. But the idea is we're choosing the best suit for the partnership. Now, clubs are good as well, but the fact that we have some help in hearts is surely more likely going to work best here. You know, that's the theory, and because you've just got the 6 doubleton, although a club lead, your partner's going to be happy if you did lead the 6 of clubs. You know, it's not going to work so well because he's going to discover that you've got no help for him, and that's why doubleton leads, you know, a little bit dubious. They're going to be good if the opponent's a bid 3 suits. Often we lead it because it's the unbid suit. Here, the 6 of clubs lead. Partner would say, oh, great lead. He'll probably duck it the first round, but I don't think we're going to have enough time, unfortunately. I think declarer's going to make his 2 club tricks and his 3 spade tricks to go with his 4 top tricks. Okay, so 6 of clubs gets some points, as it were, but not quite enough. Okay. Yep, so I'm not leading speculative doubles in no trumps. Here, 2 suits were bid, so I chose the more likely one. Okay, playing, if they had happened on this hand to have bid diamonds, hearts and spades, so if one of the opponents had bid hearts, I would probably lead clubs. Okay, let's try this next one. Just make sure I've tapped that. So the jack of hearts is what we led. Let's have a look at this one. So 1 club from North here, 1 diamond from South. Again, we're sitting in the West seat. There's going to be no bidding by our team. So a club, a diamond, a spade, 2 no trumps, 3 no trumps. So it goes a club, a diamond, 1 spade, 2 no trumps, 3 no trumps. Have a think about what you are going to lead against that, please. While I bid on the Q+. Okay, so what do you think about that? Okay, so hopefully everybody's having a think. So once again, I don't really mind what you choose to lead, but as long as we're thinking through things. So here we have, if I do not look at your hand, so if I close my eyes and I have heard the auction one club, one diamond, one spade, and they finish in 3 no trumps, I am always going to contemplate a heart lead, irrespective of my hand. If my hand came down with the ace, king, queen, jack, 10 of a suit, that's different. But the point is they bid 3 suits, so not unnaturally. If I've only got 3 hearts here, so I've only got 3 hearts, surely there's a fair chance that my partner might have 4. Does that make sense? So to me, it looks normal to lead a heart here. Not only that, I have a feeling there's a good chance what may happen is if my partner got the lead, and if I could persuade my partner that I don't really want him to lead a heart back, okay. Now what you've got to remember, absolutely, if you lead the 9 of hearts, it will look like a doubleton, but does that matter to your partner? In a 3 no trump contract, I think it's going to be more valuable for you to tell your partner, look, I'm leading this heart because it's the unbid suit, but I don't want you to lead it back. Can you see that? So West is on lead here. It's gone 2 no trumps from south, then 3 no trumps from north. Anybody who's worried about that. But so if I led the 3 of hearts, remember my partner may well put me with some length with hearts, not unreasonably. I know it's the unbid suit, but if I lead the 3, he will win, and he may well lead hearts back. Okay, all right. Okay, so here it's going to be the 9 of hearts lead, okay, for me. And I'm saying, partner, I don't really need you to lead hearts back. And I'm hoping that dummy is going to have rubbish diamonds. I've got good ones, south probably has them, okay? All right, so if east is on lead here, okay, when he gets the lead, so let's say he has the ace of hearts or maybe the king of hearts, he's going to hopefully look at dummy and say, dummy's on my right, look for the weakest suit in sight. And he will see really weak diamonds there. Okay, someone's saying they're high for hate, low for like. Absolute, that's one of the ways of looking at your leads. Okay, one of the difficult things. Okay, so on leads, that's what you can. But the most important thing is absolutely a high spot card. Got to remember that high spot card. Okay, not high card, but a high spot card is generally simply saying, partner, I'm leading this suit because I think it's the right suit to lead, but I don't necessarily want you to lead it back. So I'm hoping that most of us would lead a heart, but I think it is important that you lead the 9, because I have a feeling if you lead the 3, your partner's probably going to lead it back. Okay. If my partner thinks I've got a doubleton, I do not feel that's going to make such a difference. Playing in a suit contract, I think there may be a problem here. Because if I lead the 9, my partner's going to focus a lot of his attention on the idea of giving me a ruff, possibly. So let's say they finished in 4 spades here. He might think, okay, yeah, if I can get the 3rd round of hearts out, I can give him a ruff. Okay, so let's just see the final hand. Again, to be able to put it in perspective, I want to go over to the Q plus hand here. So, but there's the full hand. Again, clearly I can set the hand. It's not difficult for me to set any given hand, but it's just a relatively normal hand. What's important is if you look at South's and West's hearts there, can you see that if you lead the 3 of hearts, your partner is going to surely win the ace and think, well, hopefully, if maybe Declare has just got King Doubleton or something, and I can lead that straight back to you, partner, and we'll have established the heart suit. So if you lead the 3 or the 2 here, I think East is going to be thinking, great, I'll win the ace. Hopefully the king and queen might fall together on the 2nd round and we will run our hearts. But by leading the 9 of hearts, your partner knows you do not have the king or jack. So that suddenly we know, okay, that... okay. Someone's suggesting leading the 2nd suit from dummy. if you've got a decent holding in it or a bad holding, the problem with queen small small here is it's often going to be a frozen suit. So if you've got a bad holding, so looking at the spades here, if you've got a bad holding in spades and dummy has a bad holding, you don't want to lead it. So imagine you had queen small small and dummy came down with king small small small. You wouldn't be pleased, you'd let it, because it will often be a frozen suit. So with a different holding in spades, you might choose to lead through that second suit. But actually with a 3 to an honour is really ugly in a suit like that. Okay, I'm just going to quickly show you, just to make sure we're happy with the hand. This Q Plus chose to bid 3 no trumps with the south hand, but we'll ignore that if that's all right. So obviously a similar auction. So we're going to start the play and I'm going to lead the 9 of hearts. Okay, dummy goes up with the queen, but the key here is partner knows, okay, that I haven't got any of the honours. Dummy's done a clever thing by wasting his queen. He's trying to encourage East to lead it back, which is clever. Okay, but East is not falling for that. He knows from my lead of the 9, okay, that hearts are not worth leading back. And of course, he looks at dummy. If you look at the East hand, dummy is on East's right. So he looks for the weakest suit inside, and clearly he leads the jack of diamonds. Now, we won't necessarily take this contract down. If South had chosen to duck the diamond lead twice, he'd have been fine. But to be honest, South is thinking, look, this is too good a switch for me. I've got to hope that, well, I'm going to hope that East has got the ace of diamonds. And if East does have the ace of diamonds, South makes a lot of tricks, clearly. He will end up making, probably by the time, probably making the West. Wouldn't surprise me, 8 times. Yeah, he may well even, because the spades might come in. So I think he'll make the West. So if East had the ace of diamonds, and don't get me wrong, you might think, oh, you'd never lead away from the ace of diamonds. Well, some people can be quite cunning. Okay, but as it is here, as you're going to see, it's going to be rather nice, because the queen is going to bring down the other high diamonds, and you will make the 7 and the 6. Okay. So what is important, though, and then we'll let them have the West. So we take 5 tricks there. So if we just go back to the PowerPoint, because I know some people find it more clear on there, so let's just go back to there. So if you lead a diamond, the problem with leading a diamond is that the declarer now has 5 club tricks, the king of diamonds, and at least 2 spade tricks, so he's got chances of going for the game. So if you lead a diamond having given a trick away, not only that, you've only ever got 4 tricks left. You're going to make 3 diamond tricks at the most, and the ace of hearts. Okay, absolutely. South shouldn't really cover the jack, but actually South is thinking, at a lot of other tables they'd have led a heart and led a heart back, so I'm going to get a bottom here, unless East has the ace of diamonds. That's a difficult concept, but the idea is that South is thinking, look, if this king of diamonds doesn't win, I've probably got a bottom. Because believe you me, a lot of tables, the lead would have been the 3 of hearts. It will go the 3 of hearts to the ace and a simple heart back. And that is the end of that. Declarer is making 5, 8, 9, 10, and I would say probably making close to 11 or 12 tricks, because the spades, I would have thought by the time all the discards have happened, it wouldn't surprise me if West has finished. Can you see that? So all that South is thinking is, I'll just gamble on the king of diamonds making. Now clearly, if, just to explain that, if South does duck twice, then he will only lose 4 tricks. So he will. So if you were playing teams of 4 or rubber bridge, you should probably duck the jack of diamonds, because you may well still make your contract. So if you're playing just to make the contract, I think ducking is probably correct, and probably ducking again. Okay, all right. All right, and so playing in teams or rubber bridge, that's what you should do. Playing pairs, I'm not sure that playing the king of diamonds isn't the right thing to do, and just hope, hope that the king makes. Okay, it's not likely to, if I'm honest, but there you go. All right, okay, so knowing that West has no high hearts gives East that power. If you get a low heart lead, I'm not sure it's right to switch to the jack of diamonds. If my partner led me the 3 of hearts, I would feel that that playing a heart lead back. Remember, the 6 of diamonds lead does not work here. Okay, 6 of diamonds does not lead work. Okay, because you've got no chance of getting the contract down. It may work in terms of the number of tricks you make, but you have no chance of getting the contract down if you lead the 6 of diamonds. Can you see that? Okay, so at least leading a heart, you've got a chance of getting the contract down, whereas leading the 6 of diamonds, declare as always, well, I suppose you could completely mosh the contract and just take the ace and king of spades off and give you 5 tricks, but that wouldn't be optimum. Okay, so that's the leads for today. We'll look at the tip of the day in a moment. First of all, we're going to come back. So leading 3 card suits, they come up more often than you think. We're also going to see that it can be your partner's suit as well, and you need to know what to lead in those terms as well. But in terms of when your suits are bid by the opponents, we will often be thinking, leading a shorter suit. And don't forget, there's 2 of you, and that's the key here. There are 2 of you. All right. As I say, I've already explained to people, yes, South can duck twice, but he will be getting a bottom probably in terms of a duplicate contract anyway. So that's why he tried the king of diamonds. So bear in that. It's his attempt to make 3 no trumps plus 3 or 3 no trumps plus 2 like most other tables will on this board. So it's tricky. Okay, so let's go back to the... I probably only want South in play there, so you've probably seen the whole hand now. Not that it matters, but anyway. Okay, there we go. There we are. Let's go. So here's your hand. So before we see the auction, okay. So just to remind you, you've got quite often people will do 2 different things. So just to put that into perspective. We play mud against suit contracts always, generally, and mud is playing the middle card first. So from that holding, I may well have led the 3 from 9-3-2 against... actually, let me just put that up for you again, just give you the holding again so that you can see it. Bear with me. Okay, so from 9-3-2 there, we would lead the 3 if it was against a suit contract, mud. Okay, but... against a no trump contract, you are not so worried about the length of the suit here. So I think making it clear that you do not have an honour is more important. Okay, is more important. Okay. So what I'm asking you here is what strength are you giving this 12 count? What strength are you giving this 12 count? Yes, we wouldn't be leading a heart. I should say that against a suit contract, we wouldn't be leading a heart from that holding. Okay, so but there will be times where you're forced to. Okay. So what I really want to know is, how do you feel about this hand? Okay, do you like it or not? Is the simple thing. Do you like this South hand or not? And this is what we mean by hand evaluation. And hopefully those of you who've been listening in on my Fridays will be using the term honours together. Honours together. We have been looking at these grotesque holdings of king to 4 opposite jack to 3 or jack to 4, queen to 3 opposite jack to 4, ace to 4 opposite jack to 4, where all of those suits have the honours split. When the honours are together, be happier here. So for me, and I'm glad that a number of you have said it, I know you're using it as a gimmick, but you're quite right. My philosophy is simple. I do not have 12 points opposite a 1 no trump bid, so I decide whether it's good or whether it's bad. And here I'm feeling it's good. And not only, I mean, it's probably close to 12.5, but you've got the couple of 9s. I like that. A couple of Charmaine and Alan mentioning the 9s. 9s with jacks have value. They really do. They can add a little bit. I'm not adding increments of points on for them. I suppose I might add a quarter on or something, but for me it's 12.5. Okay, so I am going to bid 3 no trumps, and that's the key. So again, I don't mind if you have 2 bids to show 12, 12, 11, but that and 1 for 11. But for me, the worry I have when you have 2 bids for that is that you spend too much time just simply adding up your points and selecting a bid. For me, I want you to fully evaluate your 12s. And if your 12 is good, I want you not to show it. I want you just to bid 3 no trumps. So I am just bidding 3 no trumps here, and it's because the term that experts use is all my high cards were working, all my honours were working. The queen with the jack, you know, there's not. So let's just look at the hands here. There's your partner's hand. I mean, again, looking at hands like this, it's not so important in a way. What's interesting is the 9s come in handy in your partner's hand, and in the clubs and diamonds, they give you a real extra chance. Okay, you know, if you're bidding 2N, remember for me 2N is showing the equivalent of 11. So if you're bidding 2N with this hand, you are saying this hand is closer to 11 than 13. Okay, to me it's 12.5, and with 12.5 I'm bidding game, because with a lot of 12 counts I want to be in it, but with 13 counts I definitely want to be in it. I've given you a partner, what I would call a mediocre 12. It's okay, but he's got honours by themselves. And don't forget that. If your honours are all together, most of your partners are probably by themselves, because there's only, if you think about it, there's only 2 high cards left in clubs, diamonds and spades, and he'll often only have 1 of them. So in a way, I want you to upgrade because your partner would probably downgrade. So from North's point of view, he's looking at his hand and he's got a lovely heart suit, but the rest of his holdings are isolated honours. So you do need to bear that in mind. If you're working as a partnership, if one of you's got a lot of cards together, the other one might have the opposite. Okay, so here, I'm hoping that you're happy. I'm hoping that when you see these 2 hands together, you're comfortable for being in 3 no trumps. Again, I mean, obviously, I'll show you all the hands. I can set the hand any way I want. But we can start. We can play a few tricks through and see what happens. Okay. I'm not sure what James is saying, but he's finding a reason for not bidding 3 no trumps. Not quite sure what it would be, but. Okay, so we'll just play a couple of tricks and see where we get to. Well, they've decided, so they've established our heart suit there, which is quite pleasant for us. We would probably throw, and the point is that whichever suit I choose to, I can lead. So let's say I lead a spade here, hoping, well, I was expecting that to get ducked, so I'm not. It's your hand evaluation system. Okay, all right, okay. And that's probably the end of the hand. I think we've lost 3 tricks. We are going to lose the ace of diamonds, I think. Okay, but I think the rest is going to be ours. Okay. Okay. We're not straining for a marginal game here. I think this is not a marginal game here for me. This is just a good game. Remember, I've given your partner a really nasty hand as far as I'm concerned here. So I'm just going to claim 9 tricks there. I'm not going to play it through. So what you're trying to do is evaluate your hand. So whenever I've got 12 points, I do not like bidding 12. So for me, your vulnerability here playing pairs is of no relevance. That's very important. Playing pairs, vulnerability is not important to you. Okay. With one, funny enough, if South opened a no trump, it's good question from Kathy there. If South opens a no trump here, it's a little bit closer, I think, but of course it's going to be a statement bid anyway from North. So if South had opened a no trump, I would say North is uncomfortable, and we might finish in 2 no trumps. Funnily enough, I'd have to say that. So it's interesting that the fact that North has opened a no trump and the very minimum he can have is 12 points. You know. I would say that's a pretty ordinary 12. I could have made it worse, I suppose, but it can't be that much worse. I could have made it worse, but not a lot worse than the North hand. And bear in mind, there's going to be a lot of North hands if he's got 13 points that he will leave you in 2 no trumps if you invite. Okay, so what you've got to do is experiment there. You've got to experiment and decide how you feel about your evaluations. Take the 2 9s away, would we still do the same? You know, would we still do the same? Yeah, James, we would end up missing game. So don't say there you go. The problem is, and that's interesting, it's simply the hand that gets the opportunity to evaluate, evaluates. And we were lucky enough to have the south hand, and we had the opportunity to evaluate fully. And it's the fact that the honours are together in our hand that has allowed us to do it. It is a fine line, okay? But we've all been there. There's going to be a lot of 24-point hands where you can make game, and there'll be a lot of 26 points where you can't. And all we're trying to do is increase our chances of making the game here. And funnily enough, it's those nines that do. Bear in mind that I've thrown the Queen 10 of clubs in the wrong place for you here, so things aren't sitting particularly nicely for you. You know, someone asking about 5-card majors there. It would go, depending on your style, but probably a diamond. I think East would probably pass. And again, you'd probably respond to clubs. I mean, it's quite a nasty hand for 5-card majors, funnily enough. You know, quite a nasty one, yeah. It would probably go a diamond, I think, probably 2 clubs. And then it depends on your style of bidding. I think probably most 5-card majors would have 2 clubs as denying a 4-card major. So it might then go 2N, and then South has to make the decision. And again, with South's hand, I would bid 3 no trumps. If they lead a club, it may go down, I suppose, yeah. I mean, you might have the entries. I mean, it would be a very unusual lead, and they'd need to lead the 8 of clubs to make it easy for West. Even if they do, though, you still got chances. I mean, it would take a difficult defence. If you find an early lead of a spade up to the Queen Jack, I'm surprised if the King goes up. You might then play diamonds. You've still got chances. You know, but yes, yeah, a club lead would make it more tricky for you. Okay, let's come back here. I just need to move that on 1. Yeah. Okay, so we've got the tip of the day to come. As I say, our special offer on the site this time is the Friday lecture, actually the Friday Power of 10. Which also, it's called Part 5, Suit Combinations Part 5, but we're basically talking about a 10 for the first time. So if you fancy that, that's at half price. At a crazy offer, I think that's of £3, so do look at that if you fancy that. So I think that's listed there. Yes, you can see it, I think, there. So you go to the shop and you can get that. We have a different offer each week. And so do look at that if you fancy that. Our prize winner is Sally Clark. So well done, Sally. You are going to be in seat 2, which means you are playing against me. Okay, Sally Clark, well done. You'll be playing against me on my table with a partner of your choice, either your partner or one of ours. So, so that's completed our table for the end of this month, which is the 24th this time. I think the 31st is part of the Easter holiday. So we'll be playing the prize winners event on the 24th of this month. And as I say, this Wednesday, you can of course join us to play. And we had lots of people joining us, but it was, I'm going to be honest, I would say last Wednesday was probably the least interesting hands, I would say. I mean, it wasn't just because I only had 3 aces, I thought I'd remind you of that, but there wasn't a huge amount going on, if you know what I mean. Anyway, let's go to the tip of the day before I forget. So the tip of the day, very simple. In fact, we may have even had this one, but as we're on 3-card suits, you know, I thought I'd give the simple tip, which of course is fundamental, but it's important. It's not just lead your partner's suit, it is lead the normal card in your partner's suit. So when you choose to lead your partner's suit, what I mean by that is when your partners bid it, you still choose to lead the normal card. And that's important because there will be times that people have been taught differently. And the old-fashioned rules, and I'm suggesting this is back in rubber bridge days, was to lead the top of your partner's suit. We don't do that anymore. We lead the normal card. If we've got a doubleton, of course, it's the highest card. But if we've got 3 to an honour, well, let's have a look. Here's your hand. You've got a gorgeous gorgeous hand. It's what I call a Wednesday hand. So, East, your partner opens one heart. South overcalls one no trump. You, I'm afraid, keep quiet. Those are the bolder bidders there. Okay, so one heart, one no trump, three no trumps. Okay, so it was one heart, one no trump, three no trumps. So nice and simple auction, and it's your lead. Okay, so this is our simple tip of the day, and hopefully we are all happy with what we should lead from that. And I hope it's going to be the 3. And the crucial thing here is there's a good reason for doing it as well. One no trump from South, okay, all right, one no trump from South suggests South's got good hearts. Now, you may not choose to lead hearts, but it seems a bit odd leading diamonds or something like that because you're never going to get the lead again. Oh, I suppose you might do with the Queen of Hearts, but for me, I've got such a nice holding in hearts. East could have rubbish hearts. East is just obeying his convention. It's not like an overcall. So I'm not suggesting East is going to have a wonderful suit necessarily, but it makes sense. East has got all the points. It wouldn't surprise me, given that I've set that hand, that East has got 2 aces. He's opened the bidding. He's got hearts. So, but what I want to do is keep my Queen back in case it needs to kill South's honour. Okay, so we're going to lead the 3. Okay, and as you can see, I mean, I'm sure some of you have seen me set hands like this very simple hand, and it's just normal bidding. I mean, it's the normal bidding. Now, some of you would have not chosen to open the East hand, and that's fine. I don't mind that. You know, to me, it's a borderline opening. But if you've chosen to open one heart on the East hand, and again, the 10 and 9 of hearts make a lot of difference to me there. If you took the 10 and 9 of hearts away, I would not open that hand. Okay, if I had King to 5 bear, I wouldn't open the hand. Okay, if I had Ace 4-3, I would have led a small one again. Remember, at that point, you're thinking declare. South might have Queen Jack to 4 or something like that. So I am leading a small card to say, and it tells partner I've got an honour. Remember, we're leading the smallest one because it's low from an honour. Whereas the 4 of hearts would imply maybe, you know, your partner will think, oh, where's the 3? You know, you may not all look around like that, but he'll be, you know. So we're not, mud is from 3 small cards. I should have reiterated. That's a good point, Trevor. Remember that when we lead mud, it is when we've got 3 small cards. We lead the very lowest when we have an honour. Okay, so one last glimpse at Q Plus here just to show you the suit going through. Okay, so let's just go through that suit. Oh, I haven't done the bidding yet, have I? I need to change the configuration, not to worry. Okay. And we're just going to change the configuration so I can lead. There we go. So let's lead the small heart. Your partner puts the king on. Declare has chosen to duck that, but your partner can lead back through, and that's the end of that. Your queen kills the jack. Okay, are you happy with that? What I'm going to do is just go back. So I'll let that card go through. Let's just do it again. Okay, so we'll kill the queen. You know, that's killed it, and we just knock out the ace, and clearly it's trivial. Okay. Absolutely, if I had 3 to the ace in my partner's suit, I'm keeping the ace to kill a high card. So I'm not leading the ace. So important that. Okay, let's just simply, all I wanted to do here was lead the Queen of Hearts and just show you how that works. If we lead the Queen of Hearts, it's horrible because Declarer will now make his jack. Can everybody see that? Declarer will make his jack. Okay, so whatever your partner does, I mean, your partner may well take the contract down possibly, but the key is we've given them extra tricks. Quite simple as that. Okay, so Declare will carry on playing the contract, and the key is that by leading the queen, the ace killed it, and can you see that jack is going to make a trick now, whereas keeping the queen means your queen is able to do the job you want it to do. The queen wants to kill the jack. Okay, and that's important. So let's just look back at the PowerPoint. There's that's the full hand on PowerPoint, and the key is that queen can kill the jack if you don't lead it. Okay, it's not that common a situation, of course. Okay, but remember, if you've led your lowest card, the 3 of hearts here, partner knows straight away. As long as he trusts you, he knows straight away that you've got an honour. Okay, because the 2's in dummy, the 3 is your low. No, apologies. You could, of course, have a singleton. You could have a singleton. I should qualify that. And there will be times where Declare has overcalled 1 no trump with 5 brilliant hearts. Okay, but the key is that either he's got a singleton, it's the only card he had, or it's low from an honour. And if you trust each other, you put the king up. Now, Declare may duck it, but if he ducks it, sorry, Declare did duck it, and then we just carried on. If Declare wins the ace, of course your partner's going to win in one of his aces and lead through the jack. Okay. Someone asking, would I lead a singleton? Yes, I would. If I had a Yarborough and my partner's bid something, I might as well bid his suit. Okay. Again, someone asking if the jack is an honour. Yes. Jack, queen, king and ace. What we're doing is by leading our smallest one, we're saying we've got an honour. Sometimes the jack won't have that much power, but at least my partner will know. Well, if partner knows I've got the jack, he might feel with king, queen, bear, 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 that he can carry on leading the suit. Whereas if I led high, let's say I had led the 9, for example, and he had king, queen to 5 bear, he may well know that Declare has ace, jack, 10 to 4. And may well stop playing the suit. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, don't forget, if we lead a small one, okay, and South has the ace king, later on the queen we would throw underneath the king, okay? Bear in mind, when the lead is made, it is East who wins the first trick. Okay, so let's say it got ducked. The king, we saw it get ducked. The king won, didn't it? I'll tell you what, I'll quickly show you that again if you want, if you remember. We led a small one and the king got ducked. So it was East left on lead, wasn't it? So East knew just to lead another heart and he knows we've got an honour. So he's leading it with confidence. And of course our queen won and we simply knocked out the lead. Okay. From 10xx, so we'll finish off there. From 10xx, I'm afraid to say that's a partnership choice. Okay, generally I play 10 as a weak card, but in partner's suit, it's a very close call. And if I had 10-3-2, I'd be tempted to lead a small one, but it's a very close call there. Very close call, and I think that's a partnership thing. So when I'm leading an unbid suit, I don't count the 10 as an honour. In partner's suit, I'm afraid you're going to have to decide. Okay, that's a tricky one. All right, well, we've covered a lot today. We've covered a lot. And if I'm not careful, I'll forget about the bidding quiz, so I better throw that one up. Okay. So there's your hand. You are vulnerable against not. You are vulnerable against not, and the auction goes pass, and it's your bid. So vulnerable against not, so it's pass, and it is your bid. You can access, of course, that quiz if you like on the site and get the answers and have a think about that one. And obviously there's also the other bidding quizzes on the site, the Novice Quiz. So if you fancy that, you can have a look at that as well. So thanks for your company today. I hope you enjoyed it. We did go all around the houses a bit today, but we'll look at a few more leads next week as well. And hopefully see a few of you on the site, either on Wednesday or maybe on the Friday as well. And don't forget to look at those holidays, which will be building up hopefully as we progress. And I don't know how long my hair will be next Monday, but hopefully I'm saying no more. Goodbye and have a good week.